America in church growth. They are now recording 30% of the entire population.
Wow.
18 million people born again. Alright, not those people that call themselves Christians and are attending church. And I remember very vividly that, if you understand this, it is very powerful. Because there's always new songs coming forth. Because God is doing something in the hearts of the people. And so I talked to Brendan and I teased him. I said, Parachute Band, they started in New Zealand, began with a small group. And now they are phenomenal. And Hillsong started with a small group and now they are phenomenal. Who is stopping Valley Song? Ken Clank Valley Song. We must have our own branding and really see what God is doing here. And so I believe that new songs are being recorded, new things are happening because of what God is doing. Are you with me? And so another thing that I learned also was this, that years ago I went to Nashville, Tennessee. And that's the place where all music comes from. And there I met Delirious for the first time. Some of you younger people, you know Delirious. And they were, the whole band was so tight and they were so all over the place, And then after they led worship, one guy by the name of Brian Houston, not from Sydney but from America, the organizer taught me something that I've never learned. And he said, watch this. As this Delirious can lead thousands of people with the whole band is so tight, let me show you, a man with a box guitar can do the same thing. Wow, that guy strummed his guitar and he led worship, and suddenly the whole place was filled with the presence of God. So we need to send Julian Lowe there. So what we are talking about here is not, sometimes people have this equation of, fast songs means praise, slow songs means worship. There's no such thing. It's all about the heart.
That's right.
And even if you strip music away, like we hear the song Heart of Worship, we can still worship God. And so I want you to know this, that in the New Testament there was no worship. In the sense, alright, that they had synthesizer or whatever, there was nothing. But it was the heart.
Right.
I remember years ago I used to have this theology that I said, we must break through, and then one of my church members came and rebuked me. Church members rebuked me. And he said, I don't agree with what you're saying. I said, why? He said, you know what? He said, China, the people sing without musical instruments. And they are the true church there. And, and God without any music. They just sing a cappella. And I didn't believe him. And so I went to China and I saw the difference. One of my friends just talked to me about a few weeks ago. He said he had a pastor in China that came and worked with him. And he said he brought his whole church to China, the Chinese section. Well, we want to do that to the Chinese section. And he says that, they went and they saw the underground church in China. They went to see a leader and asked, how fast is the church growing in China? You know what the leader told him? We don't know.
Yes.
Because today it can be 1,700, tomorrow it can be 5,000.
Praise God, yes.
Because signs, wonders, and miracles are happening because of the heart of God's people. Not because of the music and the entertainment. That's America.
Yep.
And so I want to just encourage you, we try to come back to the New Testament as far as possible. Not that we are different or we want to be different, but we want to see the hearts of God's people. If you're hungry and you're thirsting after God, God will show up. It's not about how clever we sing, how good we sing, what kind of instruments we have, how techno-savvy we are, what kind of instruments we have, what kind of singers we have. We must get Whitney Houston come and sing for us. My ways, in many ways. But I believe that as we see revival, there must always be a tandem of worship songs. So today, you saw John Mui, and he wants to challenge the Chinese worship song, or from Malaysia into Taiwan. And to launch in Taiwan so that we can go international and say in Malaysia, there's also songwriters that are of caliber.
Yes.
And God is also doing something in Malaysia.
Yes.
So it all starts small, like a mustard seed. Clap lah! We chose the name rightly. I'd like to welcome all of you that are here for the first time. I believe that God is doing something here and has begun. We always get excited when we see people like this who move in the Holy Spirit, and people are healed, people are touched, people are saved. Amen. And we're so overwhelmed, and like what Hazel said this morning, she's so overwhelmed. So we all so overwhelmed. The wow factor. Alright, let's collect our offering this evening. I'm talking to a man called David Johnston. And he began to relate the story to me about how he started a ministry called IICM, International Institute of Creative Ministry. And they started with 5 to 10 people in a small room in Sydney. And from there were 2 people that were involved with this, and that is Jeff Bullock and David Johnston. You know. And from there it grew to become such a great phenomenon that today is called Hillsong, with 20,000 people attending. But it all began with a small number. So this afternoon I was talking to Brendan, and he was saying to me about songs being sung. How many of you know that when revival begins, there's a tandem together of songs coming forth, and also what God is doing on the face of the earth?
That's right.
And so we were talking to some leaders, and they said that right now everybody wants to go to Indonesia. And there are songs coming from Indonesia that has never come before. And people like Hillsong, people like all the other major record companies, they all want to go and record in Indonesia because they want to catch the spirit of worship and what God is doing. And as we are talking,